Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? Hope it's all great and fantastic. Everything here is pretty good. I played games last night. I actually went to game night and got to play games, and I'm going to play I hope to play games tonight. No, I'm going to play games tonight. Definitely playing games tonight. I just don't know who I'm playing games tonight with yet. Yesterday we got Cascadia and Undaunted in the mail. And we played some Cascadia at home, 2-player with M, and we really liked that. And then I took it with me to game night last night and played it 4-player. And 4-player is a different game. I enjoyed it, but I feel like it would be better with just 2 or 3. I think 4... It's one of those games where you have a limited set of choices, like a very limited set of choices. You have basically 4 things to choose from. And so in a 4-player game, it's not possible for you to make a plan, because by the time it gets back around to you, the 4 choices are completely different, right? So so it's, it's very difficult for you to try to do something. And the interesting thing is, in that game, if you haven't played it, so it's a tile laying game, you're putting stuff out, and there'll be a review. I'm going to work on that this weekend. You're putting tiles on you're building your own little world, and you're putting tiles down, and you're putting like little markers on top, animals on top, and you have to score particular animals score in particular ways. There's a deck of cards that determines how each of the animals score. And so the animals are really important to your score, and the biomes that are on the tiles, they're important, but they're not super important. They don't really offer any huge scoring benefit. They do offer some minor scoring benefits, and collectively they're going to be worth a decent amount of points. But really, the animals is what it's all about. And because of that, but here's the thing. So the animals is what it's all about. Placing the tiles, there's, I think, 5 different biomes. You don't really... Building biomes scores you points. So whatever your largest, say your largest forest, you're going to get 1 point per tile in your largest forest. And then if you are the person with the largest forest, then you're going to get some bonus points. Okay, but overall, I would say that the biome points are like 1/3 of your score, and animals are the rest, right? 2/3, something like that. I might be way off, but let's go with that. The thing is, the biome, or the tile that you place, not necessarily the biomes on the tile, but the tile you place determines what animals can go there. So the tile choices are just as important as the animal choices, because if you're trying to build, say, a collection of elk, or in last night's game we had a line of elk, right? So elks only score if they're in a straight line. So you have to get a bunch of tiles that have elk on them in a straight line, and then you have to get a bunch of elk and put on there, right? And the thing is, you have a little bit of control over the animal that you choose, right? Because there's these little pine cone tokens. They call them like nature tokens or something. And you can spend one to take any animal. Like normally you only take the animal that's associated with the tile that you take, but you can spend one to take any animal, or you can spend one to dump all of those animals and draw new animals out of the bag. But you can never do that with tiles. So you're stuck with whatever the tiles are. There's going to be 4 of them out there, and by the time your turn comes back around, 3 of them are completely different. Good luck, right? You know. Hopefully, there's something that's useful, and that feels a little bit strange in 4-player. In 2-player, it felt fine, right? Because in 2-player, you can kind of determine, like, all right, that's going to be good for you. So it's one of those type of games where you're really paying attention to your opponent, going, all right, you're probably going to do this, and that makes most sense for you. For instance, Em and I played yesterday, and we had one of the black bear cards. Oh, it was the black bear card that gives you points for large groups. So trying to get black bears in groups of 3 or 4 is good. And we were at least 2/3 of the way through the game, maybe even a little bit farther than that, before the first black bear came out of the bag. Like, we were not drawing black bears. So the whole game, we're like, bear, we're going to get a bear. They're not black bears, they're grizzlies. Whatever. Bears. I live in West Virginia, we have black bears. Well, the whole game, we're like, each person's like, bears, and then we're in the bag, and there's no bears, right? And then at the end of the game, bears started to show up because the bag got basically weighted with a lot of bears in it. So that was kind of fun. That was fun in 2-player. In 4-player, it was a little bit frustrating because hawks or the birds or falcons or whatever they aren't super great. They're very difficult to play. They're worth a lot of points, but they're difficult to set up. And so we were just dumping them back in the bag constantly. And by the end of the game, there was a lot more birds in the bag than anybody could do anything with. And so it was just kind of this weird. The 4-player end game was a little bit strange. It was a little bit more weird than the 2-player. So I definitely really enjoyed the game. I played it a bunch yesterday, and we're going to continue to play it. Definitely going to play it tonight. Just depends on what else happens tonight. But I really enjoyed it. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to do a review. Typically on the game channel, I've been doing first look reviews, which is my take on a kind of a one-play review. But normally I'm playing more than once before I review it. But it's my first impressions. I really like to... I am a first impressions kind of person, right? Like... People say don't judge a book by the cover. False. I'm definitely going to judge a book by its cover because there's so many books battling for my attention. I don't have time to read a crappy book just to see if I like it. And it's the same way with games. Typically, if a game doesn't capture me in the first play, probably not going to play it again. And that's sad because in the past, when there was only a small amount of games coming out each year, you played games multiple times to get a feel for it, and that was important. But today, with thousands of games coming out, unless it's a theme I'm super sold on, or it's a set of mechanics that I'm super sold on, if I play the game one time and it just leaves me kind of going, okay, I'm probably not going to play it anymore, because there's a billion other games to try, right? Like, I just won't play that again, because it's not worth my time to try to like a game, right? So when I do the review, I'm probably for Cascadia, because I've been playing it so much, and I'm probably going to be playing it a bunch for the next few days. It will be a deeper, play review as opposed to my first impressions. But I'm trying really hard to keep my first impressions in my head. And also, I just kind of told you some of the first impressions. So, cool game. Excited to play it more. Hoping to play Undaunted tonight. I'm definitely going to play tonight. I have a friend who may or may not come over, so it's just a matter of, am I playing with him, am I playing with M, or are all three of us playing something tonight? So we have Undaunted I want to play more Cascadia, and then M and I have about 4 turns left in our Sleeping Gods campaign that we need to finish. And I'm not going to do a review on Sleeping Gods until I'm done with my second campaign, because everything's boxed up right now, and I don't want to undo all of that to show it to you and then forget where it goes. So, that's what's up. What have you been playing? Of those games, Undaunted, Cascadia, Sleeping Gods, or Lost Ruins of Arnak, what of those 4 games are you most excited to have me review? Maybe that'll be the review I do first. Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is incipient. It is an adjective meaning in the early stages of development, developing but not fully formed. The chef's incipient cuisine already surpasses the fare of other, more established culinary artists. Incipient. I-N-C-I-P-I-E-N-T. Wow, I thought that had more of a sinister note. Incipient. But no, I guess I knew that word. I mean, I definitely knew it. Just for some reason, hearing it makes it sound kind of sinister.